Starmer has resigned. This is our 7th Prime Minister in 6 years, I believe. I really hope that when you kids are around, there are some stable leaders and we have some good leaders, because for some reason we haven't been on the best with leaders, and I would say probably over the whole entire world right now there's not many good leaders. And sometimes I question myself, how do we keep putting these people in charge? Or is it that they're just trying to do sleight-handed things and somehow they get there? I don't know. Anyway, Keir Starmer is, I think, voted one of the worst leaders that we've had since who knows when, right? But I think for the most part, this guy had no backbone. I think he did feel like he was doing the right thing, but he just had no conviction and he just didn't have a plan, I believe. I feel like he just sort of was trying to pick up jelly with his hands and he just kept, falling, I don't know, he was trying, I feel like he was trying, I'm not too sure. I feel like he definitely did care, I believe, in points in time, or he believed he was doing the right thing. At the same time, I don't think it was all put together, and he wasn't, he wasn't a critical thinker, you could tell, and he wasn't really taking a lot of perspectives. He only took his, which is not really what leadership is. Leadership is about thinking about the people that you lead and seeing what majority want to go, what direction they want to go, as long as it's an educated, they're educated enough to know what's going on, right? Not just going off in your own path just because you believe it, just because that's what you think. I think that's rubbish. It's really rubbish leadership. Anyway, there's a guy that is gonna probably succeed him. Birmingham, I don't know his name. I've never seen him ever before. There is also a Reform, which is Nigel Farage, which I doubt he'd get in because no one really likes him, I believe. I feel like he's messed over the England too much over the years. And then there's a few other ones, but it looks to be this Birmingham guy. Actually, let me get his name up. Andy Burnham, yeah. And Nigel Farage, among others, as the Labour Party prepares for leadership elections. Again, I don't know how this works, but I'll be honest, most of the time it's quite easy to see a prediction of who's going to be leader. 9 times out of 10 it'll be only between 1 or 2, 3 at most. Normally it's between 2 parties or 2 people that are headlined in the news and everyone can see them, and then just because they're seeing them, some people just vote based on that. A lot of people that don't get into politics, I feel like they just sort of vote off of who they see. Yeah, not a great way of doing it, but unfortunately that's just the society that we live in. Nigel Farage, I'm not a big fan. Really not a big fan. At one point not too long ago, I've done a video about it, probably be about 10, 20 videos back now. There was a stabbing of a boy, and the police handled it really terribly. There's a lot of race going on, a lot of racial stuff going on, because it was a Sikh man that stabbed this white boy, or a Polish boy. It's all really racy. It's very he's that, blah blah blah. Anyway, Nigel Farage on a response to this incident, and at the end of it he goes, we should respond with cold rage, right? And I thought that was ridiculous. I think you should never respond with rage with anything. And then some other news article or news outlet responded that he said, let's respond with violent rage or red rage or fiery rage, something like that. And then he got all oh, I never said that, I said cold rage, and that makes a big difference. To me, that doesn't make difference. It's just rage is the word here, not the colour or type of temperature it is. It's a bit, who gives a hell? It's just about that rage part. The rage should never enter in politics, ever. Politics mostly should be done with the mind, right? Critical thinking, trying to understand someone's views and opinions. yes, emotion can come into play, of course, because we are emotional creatures, but it also needs to be controlled. And normally that is controlled by the mind, right? What you dictate is necessary, right? There's enough emotion to be necessary that you sort of go over it. I think rage is not an emotion we should ever share into or put into politics. I saw a clip not long ago, and I'm not going to pretend to know the names, but it was Barack Obama and some other fella, and this other fella, they're both running for presidency, and this guy's doing like a rally or a relay, or what are they calling it, where they get a bunch of people together and they're like, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Anyway, he gives this mic to this woman, and this woman's like, we can't trust Barack. He's an Arab or whatnot. It's something crazy, right? And this guy goes, whoa, 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 no, and he grabs the mic and he goes, yeah, no, he's a decent man, you know, we disagree on some fundamental things, but he's a real good guy, good family man, and you know, we just disagree upon some things. But besides that, hey ho, right, he's a great guy, he's a decent guy. And I think that's so beautiful, like, honestly beautiful, that, again, two people, two different views, they can debate each other, they can argue, or whatever you want to call it, but at the end of the day, they have a common agreement of certain things, right? They're both decent, they're both trying their best, it's both coming from the heart. In today's politics, I don't see that at all. And I think it's just because it's been infiltrated by people that, like, somehow they've got to here, and they're just shooting off cusses to everyone. They're just hating, it's like we're in a playground. It's like, these people should not be leading us. People that are just cussing people out and just talking down to people and being rude and like big egos and things. These people should not be in power. They're not the people for the job, right? And I see more and more nowadays with leadership like that. And I hope, kids, that when you're my age or a little bit above, I really hope we got some good leaders here, because we are struggling here, man. We're struggling with some good leaders. I think, personally, for me, that there's been a few good leaders of my lifetime, but not many at all. So, yeah, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.